Hey Rifters, welcome to the show. Subscribe, rate, review, tell a friend. You can follow me, Keith Reza, Facebook and Instagram. Hey man, we got a great show. Ron Pearson will be here. Ron is a comedian. He was the warm-up for Full House. He's appeared in so many TV shows like Full House, and he was on Norm's show for a while, and he's been in a couple films. The Steve Carell one, The Incredible Burt. I forgot the name of it, but he was in that, and then he was in a Little Black Book and stuff. So he's been around, and it's going to be great to talk to him. I'm very excited. But this is a good time to subscribe, rate, review on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, tell a friend, and enjoy Reza Rifts with Ron Pearson coming up next.
From Hollywood, California, welcome to Reza Rifts with your host, Keith Reza.
How you doing, Keith?
Hey, Ron Pearson. How are you, bud?
Good.
Yeah. I like your hat.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Lopez versus season 3.
Which is George has a series with his daughter called Lopez versus Lopez. And so I worked on it for all 3 seasons. Yeah.
Oh, there's 3 seasons of that?
Yeah.
I gotta watch more TV, man.
Yeah. Well, we're canceled now, so didn't get picked up. So
I'm sorry to
it's
hear
kind
that.
of sad. Yeah.
Didn't you do the original Lopez show though?
Yeah, I sure did. Yeah. And also did his talk show, Lopez Tonight.
So that's kind of cool that he remembered you and took you.
Very much so. Very much so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it's so good to finally meet you. And I was just talking to my it's really weird because I believe in like these weird signs, right?
Okay.
For example, I've been doing comedy for 20 years and our paths have never crossed.
I was going to ask, have our paths crossed?
Yeah, and I find that so interesting that they haven't.
Right? Me too. Me too, because I was listening. I went on and I just said, oh, there's Kindler. I'll listen to that one. By the way, your glasses on that one, very cool glasses. So
I'm so sensitive to light. So I have to wear glasses, but I can't find them. So like my light, I don't know.
And your eyes hurt, so you can't see.
I don't know if you see this, but I have the microphone thing like kind of jamming the light so it doesn't jam my light.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Jeez. Well, anyway, I was listening to the Kindler thing and I'm like, oh, well, I worked for a long time with Norm, because you opened for Norm.
Yeah.
And
Norm was my best friend.
Yeah. I worked on his show for years.
Oh, yeah.
And would hang out. We'd play basketball and hang out. Me and him and Cato did a lot of stuff together.
Cato.
Yeah. So, then also Saget. You opened for Saget. I worked with Saget, and I worked with him quite a bit in the last few years because I worked on Fuller House.
Yeah, Saget was very. When Norm died, Saget was the one person who called me and texted me once a week until Saget died.
Yeah.
So it was. Yeah, I have like a lot.
They were both. I love both those guys a lot.
Yeah.
They were really both so cool, unique, talented, kind, both of them. Yeah, I have a lot of good things to say about both of them.
I wanted to ask you, did Norm suck at basketball when you played him? Because whenever I played him, he sucked.
No.
It's like, oh my God.
No, he plays inside, right? He's not an outside guy, right? We used to he and him and Cato would play these games. There was like a TV show, kind of a league what's the high school there in Melrose? Right, in Melrose, and
I don't know.
Yeah,
I live in Huntington Beach, so
okay, yeah, poor thing.
You say Melrose, I think okay, improv, or what else is on Melrose that I care about?
Right.
And I can't even get into the improv, so I don't even know why I know the improv's on Melrose.
That's funny. Well, we used to play basketball on that, and then Norm would have his assistant film it.
Yeah.
And then we go back he'd order pizza. Then we'd play the film back, and Cato and Norm would call it like it was a real basketball game, like the
Oh,
announcers, and they'd
oh,
argue over who got to do color commentator and who had to call the game.
that's so funny. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I
But we
still,
haven't crossed paths, which is so bizarre
it's so weird, you know?
because we have mutual friends.
That's where I was going with this. So like how I was like thinking, okay. So I asked out this girl named Bree Pearson, and this is where like the paths kind of cross. And
Okay.
and she said no, and I was like, and then I saw you pop up at the Laugh Factory in Long Beach because like I'm trying to get in there. And I was
Yeah.
like, and honestly, you've been a comedian I've always wanted to see live, but as a comic, I don't really like going to see other comics because I'm kind of like, oh, I want to go on stage. You know what I mean? Where like
Yeah.
it's nothing personal. It's just like, but I've
Why
always
don't you just come down and we'll hang out one night and just come in the show and we'll just
we'll do that.
hang
Yeah.
off, and then you'll just be back with us hanging. You won't go on stage, but you'll just be
I
hanging.
I'd I want to do it after the show though. So like I don't be like, I want to jump on stage.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
after the show, let's do that. So I saw you on the Long Beach Laugh Factory site, and I was like, oh. So this girl said no. I wonder if Ron will say yes. So it was so great. So that's where
You're really funny, man. You're just a character.
yeah.
You're a character. That's
But
funny.
but I'm saying like that's how these weird signs
That's how your
just pop
brains
up.
works too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Well, I'm
yeah.
sorry Bree said no.
Yeah, well,
Well, that's my sister. You stayed a heck away from her. No.
Oh, okay.
Would that
I
be
mean,
something?
I would be like, hey, Ron, you should tell her I'm a good fella.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
So you grew up in Huntington then?
yeah, yeah. And so I would go to LA for shows and open mics and stuff. And yeah, I've never really desired to live in LA because I hate people. But Huntington, I feel there's not as much people as LA. Does that make sense? Like I feel there's more
Because
people in
I
real.
hate people. Let's
Yeah.
just dig into that phrase. I hate people.
Well, no, because it's like because Ron, if we're being honest, the spirit of people, they're very mean. You know what I mean? And I just can't take that anymore.
That's so interesting. That's an interesting phrase.
Yeah.
Like to me, yes, growing up, I had some really rough things, but the mean spirit was in my brothers against me. So it was in
Really.
my house, and I'm the baby, and they were big and bullies and crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. But I found lots of nice people. I did get a lot of abandonment in reality
Yeah.
through death and through people just walking away. So I have what's called an intimacy disorder. I shut everybody out at one point. So
Oh,
you'd
really?
think I would be the spirit of people. I'd agree with you. I hate people, but it's not that way. That's my your phrase. Just and then why would you want to be a comedian? Because you want so desperately for people to. It's a good way for people to like you. I mean, it honestly is. It's a way to keep people at a distance, but be loved by people, right? When they're all laughing and you're the center of attention and all that. That's
Well,
really
I don't
fascinating.
I don't do comedy for the attention. I do it
Sure, sure, yeah.
because Ron, I have no, seriously, I have a form of autism and
Okay.
I was very nonverbal growing up. So like comedy really saved my life and made me verbal. So like that's why I do comedy because it's like an exercise to me. And I don't really hear laughter. I could hear energy, but I can't really hear like laughter in a crowd, So like
Wow.
yeah, so like
Okay, so I'm deaf.
oh really?
I'm 90% deaf here and 30% deaf here. I now have the hearing aids because my wife made me get them after 8 years of marriage. She goes, I can't take it anymore. You're getting hearing aids because this is nuts.
Yeah.
But because I could hear a little bit, I go, well, I'm not deaf. But if you ever watch my act, you go, God, he's really loud.
Yeah.
Well, I can't hear myself. And I'm constantly trying to drag more response from the audience because I can't really hear them very well. And
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
weird is occasionally I'd have a cold and you get fluid in the ear, and that would work as the eardrum and take the sound. And I'd be like, wow, this crowd's really loud.
But you could feel energy though, right?
Totally. And
Yeah.
yes, yes. So how do you feel energy?
Just by like this, just energy, like, we have a good vibe, stuff like that. So like
Yeah.
I know when I'm killing, and then when I'm bombing, I don't really notice. You know what I mean?
What
So
a gift.
yeah. So
What a gift.
that's why I do comedy. And maybe that's something Norm taught me too. I don't know, because I was with Norm for
Norm was
not.
good at bombing.
Oh, he was the best.
He would either destroy or eat it. There was no real in between with Norm.
There's no in the middle.
And it really depends on how he felt at the day, because he just, gosh, he really was brilliant, but he also had a I don't care kind of a thing. So
Yeah.
much so, like a lot of people would ruin their lives. For him, it probably made his life a lot better, because that's where his probably all his genius popped into. I mean, that's the way I take it. What do you think on that?
No, for sure. You want to hear a crazy narcissistic story about Norm?
Sure. Wait,
The
who's the narcissist?
Yeah, well, we'll find out at the story.
Okay, all right.
So the Rifters have probably heard this story before. So Rifters, I call my listeners the Rifters. Uh,
Rifters.
so guys, bear with me. So one time Norm did a show at the American Comedy Club in San Diego, and he went like 2 hours long on the Friday, right? On the first
Two
show.
hours long.
Yeah. And it pissed
Which
off.
means it's a 2 hour and 45 minute show.
Exactly. Well, plus you have me and you have Sean O'Connor and you have
Yeah.
Fred Stoller, you have the openers and stuff. So yeah.
Freddie Stoll was funny, man.
Yeah. So the next night the owner comes in, right? And he's like, "All right, Norm, you gotta stick to your time. We can't sell alcohol after 11 p.m. or whatever. So like stick to the time and just do 45 minutes and get off."
Right.
And Norm's like, "But why?" And he's like, "Well, because we can't sell
That's
alcohol."
exactly what he would say. You do a good, Norm.
I remember the story like no tomorrow because I thought
Yeah.
it was the funniest
Yeah.
thing. So then he's like, "I understand." And he's like, "Okay, cool." So he goes over the first show just to piss the owner off.
That's so Norm.
Yeah. And then the order came back before a second show. He's like, "Okay, so this show, everyone's just doing 5 minutes. You just do a half hour. Let's get out here." And Norm's like, the owner leaves, and Norm's like to us in the green room. He's like, "Man, I really feel bad for this late show." And we're like, "Why?" He's like, "Because they're not getting out of here till 3 in the morning." So it's
Oh,
just,
he just did it.
he just, and he did like double the time. You know what I
Oh
mean?
my God.
So like. Yeah, he was brilliant, but also like very daring. But he was also the type of guy where like he had that power. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
He it's so Norm. But you know what? All comics have a FU kind of an attitude in general.
yeah.
My friend, he's passed now, Jackie Kahane. Have you ever heard of Jackie Kahane? He's old school. He was way
No.
back in the day.
Is he Googleable? Can I Google him? Maybe
Yeah.
I'll know his face.
Yeah. You probably won't. But he opened for Elvis for 7 years.
Okay.
And back in the day, way before comedy clubs, you had these supper clubs around the country. And so the comics would
He
go
doesn't
into
look
them.
familiar.
They would go into the club and you'd spend a month at the club working, or 3 weeks or whatever. You'd have a long run and then you go to another club. And they were kind of all mob run, if you know what I'm saying. So
Back in the good days.
Yeah. Yeah. And so Jackie goes to Chicago, and it's 2 years after Al Capone has died. And Jackie's doing Al Capone jokes on stage. And they visit him backstage after the show and they go, "Mr. Kane, we're not going to talk about Mr. Capone at all like that anymore. Do you understand?"
Sure.
Yeah. Well, all comics have an FU attitude. Next night, right back at it, doing the Capone jokes. So they beat him ragged, hung him over elevator shaft, beat him some more and left him in a ditch to die, and he survived. And it was like front page news across the country.
Wow.
Yeah, but that was because he had, You're not gonna tell me what to do. I'm a comic. I'm gonna, you know.
So did he show up for the Sunday show? That was a joke, Ron.
Yeah. It made me think for a second. I'm like, what? That was good.
Wow. I did want to ask you this because I find this very interesting about you, and I'm sure you've talked about this a lot. So if you're answering questions you've heard before, I do apologize. But I wanted to ask you, what was it like starting as a juggler on the street when you were 10 years old? Because that's pretty daring, I feel.
It is.
Eh, you know?
It is. But I'm the baby of 8 kids.
Yeah.
So you know, how am I going to get attention? I learned how to juggle. Oh, that's cool. I liked funny things. Oh, that's cool. And my first day, I mean, it was a long time ago,
Yeah.
you know, but I made pretty decent bucks for a little kid, for a 10-year-old. I'm like, that was cool. And then,
Right.
you know, by the time I was 14, 4 years later, I was on the Mike Douglas show down here, which would be like being on Ellen DeGeneres now. It was an afternoon talk show with all these big celebrities on it. And
Was Mike mean?
no, not to me.
Because you said it's like the Ellen Jenner. Okay.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Rod. I'm sorry.
I worked for her for several years as well.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I've never met her, so I can't be one to judge, but I've heard through the grapevine. But I've also heard through the grapevine that she's super nice. So I don't know. You know what I mean? This vine is too weird for my taste.
Yeah. She was always nice to me. Always nice to me. But yes, I've heard stories. So yeah.
But Mike Douglas. So you did his show before you became an actor.
Yeah,
And
I was 14. I was what are you laughing about?
I threw another joke. Mike Douglas before he became an actor.
Oh. I heard before you became an actor. And then you started laughing, and I'm going, yeah, okay. He knows I became an actor, but I don't know.
Then I screwed up my own joke.
No, that's good, Mike. Oh, you know who else? You know what comedian's name is Michael Douglas
Yeah.
in real life?
What?
Michael Keaton.
Oh yeah.
But there was already a Michael Douglas, so he had to change it, and he picked Keaton after Buster Keaton.
Yeah. You know, Michael Keaton though, I remember his opening joke was like he'd go up to the audience, he'd be like they'd be like, "Welcome to Michael Keaton," and he'd go, he'd take the mic stand, and he'd be like, "All right, thanks for coming," and then he'd just get off stage.
He had good timing. He's funny.
I think that's probably why he's, in my opinion, the best Batman, because I feel a comedian's perspective on that of the darkness, because comedians in general are usually pretty dark people.
Can be.
Yeah. And I feel like that's kind of why it worked. You know what I mean?
It very well could be.
Yeah.
You know, it just shows his genius that they took a comedian and put him in that role, and I thought his Batman was pretty iconic.
Yeah.
Right? Man.
Don't you wish we could be Batman, but we're just like guys.
Wouldn't that be cool? I would love a utility belt with all the shark repellent.
Yeah, we're just like the guys Batman beats up. Like, what the freak is going on? Yeah, but
right.
So you're 10 years old. You're juggling and you're making money. At what point did you start realizing you're going to write jokes and start doing comedy?
So by the time I was 13, I started a team comedy juggling act in the street. And so we did, you know, a really good, like 25, 30-minute street show that did well. And what was funny is my first few years, you know, I was skinny and short. I'm now 6'3", 200 pounds. But I mean, I was thin, skinny, and short, or average height for that age. So I could get away with, you know, being cute and this and that. And I get all the laughs in the show over my partner, who was 6 years older than me. Right. Or 6 or 7. Yeah, he's up there compared to me. And so, but then like a couple of years later, we have the same show. And I'm noticing he's starting to get all the laughs, and I'm not getting laughs anymore. I'm like, oh, I think I grew a little. I don't think they don't look at me as this cute little kid. I need to figure out how to get the laughs back from him.
Yeah.
So we worked on that stuff. And I just love funny things. I kind of think funny was an escape for me from just things I didn't like at home, um, things that were difficult or whatever. So, you laugh and you just get into funny. Funny is
Is it?
always fun, right? How's it not? I used to
Yeah.
watch like Buster Keaton and Charlie Chaplin and the Marx Brothers and just anything funny I would go see. W.C. Fields, all those. And then any of the modern funnies I would definitely go watch too. And I just enjoyed a good joke and a good laugh. So,
And see, that's what comics do is because, like, you know how, like, when you talk to a comedian, they're always like, well, Ron, so the other night I killed with this joke, and you could, like, kind of tell, like, they're just, like, kind of new and maybe they didn't really kill. And they're just kind of, you know what I mean? And they're, like, kind of telling you that. But I feel like with real life, because that's what the gift about if you're a true comic, you could do is you could take the pain and suffering from real life and you could twist it to make it funny. And I think that that's just, you know, that's the beauty of humor. You know what I mean? And I feel a lot of people who respect and understand that get that, but I feel a lot of people just who are like who aren't comedians, they either think, "Oh, that's too soon," or "Why are you making jokes like that?" Something like that. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's interesting. I mean, Napoleon Bonaparte said, we laugh so we don't cry.
Right.
So, there's ways to, when I bring up things that are hurtful in my past, that where I'm still broken, where I was maybe picked on as a kid or whatever, I kind of laugh it off, and then therapists will go, "That's not really funny. Why are you laughing?" Oh,
Yeah.
it is. No, it's not. That's not funny at all. That was abuse. Why are you laughing at abuse?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's because it's a deflect. It's a defense mechanism, right? And so, but I just like funny things. Look, comedy to me, you never master it. You're never done. You go, there, I did it. I'm that good. You know.
Right.
So
It's like
working on it.
did I lose you?
Golf is
Oh.
that way. No,
Oh yeah.
my brother called. Yeah. The one that
Oh.
picked, by the way.
Oh. Maybe his daughter's name is Bree or something. Oh. But what I think I agree with you. You could I feel like because everyone says, "Oh, Dave Chappelle is the best comedian of all time," right? And I think he's good and all, but I feel there is no best comedian of all time because I feel comedy, just like what you said, you can only get better, and I feel comedians can also get worse. I feel like there's no best of all time. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
okay. So I have a theory on all this too. I like where you're going.
Yeah,
I don't think there can be a best of all time because it's what's funny to you.
exactly.
So somebody, Keith, might be the funniest guy of all time.
Well, Ron, you're giving me a little too much.
Well, it could be. I mean, we could find that person. It goes, you're the best. There's nobody better. And so, because to me, comedy is what we all have in common, right? And so you're getting people to see the world in your way and you're describing things, whatever style you want. By the way, there's a million different styles, right?
Yeah,
So, guy like Gallagher gets bagged on. But if you look at Gallagher's stand up, it was pretty dang good. But they bag on him because he had all these other things with it. But
yeah.
he sold tickets, he had fans. So, to a lot of people, he was the best.
It was
And
a two watermelon minimum.
yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
would have
But
been funnier if I
yeah,
nailed it.
yeah. But so it's just a constant battle to keep improving and keep getting better. And I look at somebody like Jerry Seinfeld, who I've done a million shows with, and he's so good, But I thought his best work was his Carnegie Hall one that he did during COVID.
Mhm.
That special was so good. I'm like, how does somebody that far into the game and that wealthy have the focus to try and improve themselves even again?
Right.
Because at a certain point, you're like, oh, okay, I did it. Okay, you take the foot off the gas foot off the gas pedal, and man, I just found it impressive. You know,
The other thing I wanted to ask you is because, like, I maybe I'm just overthinking this, but I feel like comedians, like, they have this thing of either, hey, let's do comedy, and then, hey, let's write a book or host a game show or something.
I
Like,
hosted game shows. Well, there's something wrong with that?
no, there's nothing wrong with that, but what I'm saying is, like, why is the comedian's brain on like, why do they always hire comedians for game shows like that? Because you're not a game show host, you're a comedian. Does that make sense?
Well, there's a real timing. Just as a former game show host, to
Yeah,
me, there's a real you're building tension and releasing tension. That's what a joke does. You're
right.
doing that in a game show and knowing how to build that up and tee it up and make it work. A lot of people don't get that. Now to me, they just really hire famous people. And back in the day,
It was
a lot of people
comedians.
well, it was game show hosts specifically. Like
Right.
that's what you did for a career, was a game show host. You were a host, and other people wouldn't want it. Famous people wouldn't want to take it because the money was so lucrative. Money's dried up in a lot of the films and television, and so these people who got famous for whatever reason have all these expenses, and the money's not coming in the way it used to. So
Yeah.
now they'll take, this is my opinion of how it goes. So now they'll take the the game show and the this and the that, because you got to keep your little empire humming along.
Yeah.
So
So I guess maybe I should get a game show.
good luck.
Yeah.
They're picking really famous people now. Are you really famous?
No,
No.
you know what's so weird is if you like if so maybe I'm kind of happy doing this, but like if you ask Chat GPT or something, it'll just say Keith Reza is a stand-up comedian. It won't say anything about acting or anything, and it's because I have no desire to do acting.
Right.
So I feel like those are my, like, I mean, Norm was an actor too, but like, let's face it, he was a really bad actor. So like, I don't think he considered himself an actor. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's the type of that I want to go in comedy. Like Craig Shoemaker
Chewy.
is, yeah, he's one of the worst actors in the world, but he's a great comedian. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
like that's what I kind of want to do. Where like if a movie or something comes in my lap, obviously I'll probably do it, but it's not something I'm really pursuing. Does
Yeah.
that ma-
Yeah. Yeah.
does that
It
make
makes sense.
sense? Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. But I so back in the day, in the 80s and the 90s, the vehicle to getting a TV series was comedy. They would pick
Yeah.
comedians for the series, and then you blow up from that. And the next thing,
Get a development deal based on you.
Drew Carey, Roseanne,
Uh,
Norm.
Did you ever have a development deal, or were you
I had
just,
a couple of development deals, but not huge ones.
yeah? What was the title for your like juggling with Ron, or like what was it about?
No, because we didn't pitch the project. They wanted me, so they
Uh,
locked me down. We want to develop you, and then we worked on stuff. And nothing went, so we didn't do it.
is pitching something that you as a comedian like have difficulty doing? Because I feel that that's very difficult for me.
I Yeah, I didn't get in that game as much. I've done a
Yeah,
fair amount of acting. I get my roles here and there, and enjoy it. A lot of series I worked on, mostly sitcoms, some dramas, some films, a lot of commercials, all the above. Turned
yeah,
out good. But as far as my own, you know what? It's because I juggle also.
right,
So they
yeah,
go, we don't know who he is. So the guys that were, and I'm a showman. So
Right.
there's, right. So I started on the streets. I got to get people who aren't even coming to see me to stop, to watch, and then pull money out of their pocket.
Right.
So
Which by the way is one of the most impressive things to do, because a normal person, if they're seeing something, they wouldn't want to tip someone on the street. So like you'd have to be very, very talented to get that. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, it's a lot of work. It's fun, but it's nuts.
Yeah.
So my style act goes out at the audience. The type of people who are best comics for television sets, for if I'm going to do the Late Late Show or I'm going to do the Tonight Show, are acts that draw you into them, not that
Right.
go out and get the crowd. So I'm a
Right.
showman. I'm gonna rip the crowd up. It might not translate as good on TV as a guy who's really still and just sticks in one vein. Da, 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 da. Whereas I shift gears. Yeah.
Yeah.
So does that make
Well,
sense?
no, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
I like that answer. I used to teach screenwriting, and I would tell my students like pitching's the hardest thing, like because I could help you write a script, get it polished or whatever, but if you need pitching advice, don't come to me. I'm like the worst pitcher in the world.
Wow.
And it's
Why is
like,
that? Do you get nervous
yeah, because I feel like
judging you?
they're judging an idea, something within 30 seconds, and they don't really, you
Hear the
know,
whole thing. Yeah, yeah.
hear the whole thing. You got to be really quick on that. And like with my brain, like with my Asperger's syndrome, it's like having two people in your brain typing. One person's just over typing like blah 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 blah, and the other person's just eating Cheetos. So you never know like which guy you're gonna get. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So like that's why I come off as awkward, or then I come off as like very like
You don't come off that way to me at
really.
all.
Well, that's good, I
No, you
think.
really don't. So yeah, and maybe you don't like pitching because you hate people.
Exactly. But here's what I would tell people. I would say go into an elevator. This is how difficult pitching really is. Go into a random elevator, and when someone goes in an elevator with you, just be like, "So I got this movie idea." Like just totally talk to a
Yes.
stranger
Yeah.
and see if they buy it. And if not, just say the Lego version.
That's funny.
Yeah. Pitching's very tough.
It's
So I
funny.
mean, I don't really have advice on pitching. So
Yeah.
that's the one thing I'd always want to learn more about, you know.
Right. Wow.
What about
Yeah, it's
audience
an
warm up? That's pretty hard, right? Because
that is.
you have to be 100% clean. I mean, you're a clean comic anyway, but like
Yeah.
this is like clean, clean, clean. You know what I mean?
Especially depending on the show. Right.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And no, I know warm-ups that are not clean.
Oh, right, do you?
Yeah, yeah. So, but they won't, certain shows they won't fit on.
Right.
Right. But it's hard because you're doing so many hours. I'll usually have one warm up a year that goes 7 or 8 hours. So can you imagine having the same audience for 7 or 8 hours that have been sitting in front of you?
I
And
think
you,
I'd want to eat a bullet or something,
yeah,
because like
yeah, yeah. It
ah.
can be rough.
But how did you learn that? Because there has to be a skill that you learn just by doing that. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm a showman, like I said, and I'm not just a one gear act.
Yeah.
I'm not just, hey, that it's not monotone. Some things I do are loud, some are quiet, some are
Yeah.
fast, some are slow. Some touch your heart, some don't. Some have a skill. Oh my gosh. And my goal when I do warm up is to always, I keep pushing the audience, I keep poking them, and they're always off balance and never know exactly when. So there's a little bit of a fear and an excitement. What the hell is this guy going to do next? Kind
Yeah.
of a thing. That's kind of the way I do it. And I try and have a build through the night. So my biggest stuff will be an hour four. A normal show is 2.5 to 4 hours. A normal show.
Now, I don't know if this was like a gimmick, but I went to a TV taping once, and I forgot who the warm-up guy was, but I remember he
Can you tell me
was,
the show?
it was, what was it?
Was it a sitcom or a talk film?
No, it was
A sitcom. Okay.
it's so weird because it was my uncle's show.
Oh,
Andy Dick was in it, Eric Roberts was in it,
oh,
Sarah
yeah, yeah,
Rue.
yeah, yeah. I worked on that show I did like a third of the warm-ups on that show.
What was that show?
I
Um,
know the show.
it was like perfect or something perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyways, so I went to a warm up taping, right? And the warm up comic was trying to do a joke. Then they hit the bell, and he'd be like, "All right, I'll tell you guys the rest of the joke after." And
Happens
then,
all the time.
yeah, and then he kept doing it, and the bell just kept. He's like, I felt so bad for him because it was like 5 minutes of him doing that.
Oh, if I can get him on that, I love it. That makes
Yeah,
me happy because I just keep playing it up and they're, and I try and milk it. It happens occasionally.
maybe you were the warm up. I don't know.
It could have been. Well, I would have juggled at some
Uh,
point in the show. You would remember that.
yeah, this person didn't juggle.
They mixed it. There were 3 different warm-ups for that show, I think, from what I remember.
Yeah. But no, that was a long time. But hey, Ron, I want to respect your time, but I have 3 more questions. Can I ask these real fast?
Sure.
All right, cool. I wanted to ask you when you do a movie and then you're doing warm up, because as a comic, I would feel like we kind of went back forth on this before, where like I'd want to do comedy and not really the movie. Does it kind of ruin your money or your ticket sales when you're doing a movie and you have to give up the comedy for a while for whatever project you're doing?
What was interesting, I did a movie called Little Black Book.
Okay, Brittany Murphy.
Brittany Murphy, Holly Hunter, Kathy Bates. And they go, hey, we're creating this role for you. We want you in the movie. You'll be shooting for 6 weeks. And I'm like, well, it's a movie. There's going to be multiple days. I'm not even doing it. But I have to cancel all this audience warm up. Right?
Yeah.
I'd have to cancel all this audience warm up. But hey, they really want me in the film. So I'll go ahead and do that. So I took it. Well, they had me working every day, and they're long days, long days.
12 hours, 14 hours?
Yeah. And so you're getting up way before you have to get to the set. You're getting home way later. And then I had to cancel all these audience warm-ups. And I realized I lost in the 5 or 6 weeks. They paid me good money, but my deficit from what I would have made had I not done the film was 17,000.
Whoa.
And that's from 20 years ago. Right.
Which was a lot of money back then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a lot of money now too, but like, geez.
Oh yeah. 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 But I mean,
but yeah, it made me say, I resented warm up prior to that, but I was like, maybe this is the best gig in town. I show up just before the show. I do my little thing for a couple hours. I get decent pay for it and I'm off. And so, that happens. But to make something, I'm severely ADHD. So I like a lot of different stimulus.
Right.
So I do every type of show. Last night I was with 800 people in Kern County with all the police force.
Oh, nice.
Last week I was in Colorado with Mennonites and Amish, no joke, and did a show for that group. And, Saturday night I'll be at the Long Beach Laugh Factory, which is an entirely different crowd.
This Saturday?
Yes.
I might come this Saturday.
All right. Well, let's do this.
I live in Huntington Beach. That's like 15 or 20 miles away from Long Beach.
Perfect. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right.
We'll go get a chicken.
Sure. Dave's Hot Chicken is across the street.
Yeah, I love Dave's. We'll be like, yeah. No, that's so fascinating. And then I wanted to ask you, there's this thing for headliners called a rider when you go to clubs and you tell the club what you want. I wanted to know what's in your rider. Can you share these secrets?
I cannot share.
You cannot.
I will not share.
I
cannot share.
Is it something goofy at least, or?
Nah. And it's changed over the years, depending on what it is, right?
Yeah.
But it's not a nutty thing. But because of my act, I sometimes have to have weird things. I have to have special mics or ceiling heights or a ladder that's either 6 feet tall or 8 feet tall, depending on the ceiling height.
Yeah.
Things like
I tour with TJ Miller right now, and one of the things in his rider is a extra pair of like emergency underpants, and I always think that that's kind of funny. And because every club gets them,
Gets it.
and he never and and here's the funniest thing is he never uses it at all. He just leaves it. So like sometimes it'd be the same one from the next year. You know what I mean? Like
that's funny.
So
that's funny.
Yeah, I'm trying
There's
to
one
think.
more question.
Yeah, I was trying to think what I want to put in my rider though.
Oh yeah.
You got any tips for that? If I ever become,
You know what I like cigars now. I
Oh
should put
yeah,
cigars in my rider.
like
That's a
the
good idea.
like the big illegal ones, right? Like the Cuban ones.
I'm fine with Tabaks, which are Rocky Patel, Drew Estates. Yeah, those are nice cigars.
It'd be great if it was an illegal cigar, though. You could be like, all right, I want this illegal cigar.
Oh yeah, make them really go through go through the ringer to get it, right?
Exactly.
We had to fly to Mexico.
So Ron, it's like we came up even on the cells.
Right.
So my last question for you is, if you were Ben and Jerry's ice cream flavor, like what would you call yourself, and what would it be? Like what would be in it?
It would be called Circus Boy.
I like that.
Okay.
I'm gonna write that down.
Okay. It'd be called Circus Boy.
Circus Boy.
Okay. And we're gonna have caramel, vanilla, dabs of chocolate with crushed up potato chips literally in it.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And salt.
Oh,
it would be so good. Circus Boy would be a big seller. I'm telling you right now.
Circus Boy.
I'm telling you.
I like that.
Yeah.
You have to put like a cool circus food coloring in it.
Right.
Yeah, like an orange or a red or something. So it gives you the circus feel.
Yeah. Or you make the whole outside of the thing look like the outside of a circus tent.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And then on the what's it called? The box, the pent, you could say, "Don't eat, lions are in here." Because lions are in circuses.
Yes.
All right, Ron, where can the folks at home follow and support you? You got Instagram, Facebook,
yes,
stuff like that?
Ron Pearson Comedy, especially on Instagram. That's the one blowing up for me right now. But I got a good Facebook page and Twitter and YouTube, all that. Ron Pearson Comedy. I like the Instagram one. That's the one that's kind of blowing up the best.
I just got my Instagram back literally
a week
ago.
What'd you do? What'd you do to get in jail?
I didn't do anything. It was an AI glitch, and I was suspended for 2 months, and then whenever I'd open a new account, it said I'm impersonating Keith Reza, and I'm like, but I am Keith Reza. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's how famous I am, Ron, is at least Meta knows I'm impersonating myself, right? So it was a nightmare, dude. I had to get a lawyer. I lost money on it because that's how we sell tickets now, is on social media.
Right.
And I feel, after learning this, I feel what I've learned is not to put the business on social media, even though the business wants you to, because you never know with AI what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's scary.
Years ago when I started social media, 18 years ago, where I had a team doing it, somebody hacked into my pages. Once I got enough people, they hack into my pages, block me out,
Yeah.
and then put posts, hey, try these shoes and buy these shoes, buy this, buy this. And people are going, why are you posting all this stuff? I can't even get into my own account. I'm stuck out. And
And I
it makes really soured me on the social media for a while, but I have a
and
real
I
good team now.
Yeah, and I gotta be honest with you. I think that this is why it took me so long to actually do the podcast, because I bought shoes from you a few
Yeah.
years.
You little rat.
Ron, thank you so much for being my best friend for 45 minutes, buddy. I really appreciate it. And
Thank
thank
you.
you, man. And let's text, and maybe Saturday we'll hang out, buddy.
I would love it. I would love it. That'd be real cool. I'm probably going to the first part of the LA Galaxy game and
Okay.
then running to the club right after that.
Actually running, or are you gonna Uber?
No, I'm going to drive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now run, that's a long run, buddy.
No, let's text up on that, brother.
All
And
right.
one other thing, I have in my thing my email address. Can we have that blanked out for the video portion?
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't think it shows up, but I'll definitely do that for sure.
Good. Yeah. If it doesn't show up, we're all good.
Yeah, we don't want your email address for the people, right? We
No, I
don't
don't
want
think
that.
so.
That would be bad.
That would be bad.
Well, I'll definitely blank that out. Like I said, I don't think it does show up, but if it does, we'll put my email address. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right, Ron. We'll
I
have
got
a
to see
great.
your stuff now. I've got to see your stand up, man.
Oh, well, it's all right.
Liar, liar, liar.
I don't like to brag, because when you brag, you're gonna be like,
What do
this
you
guy.
talk about?
I talk about being on the spectrum.
Oh, great.
Yeah, that's my whole thing.
I have a whole new ADHD piece that just does very, very well. And so many people, and I try and take the shame off of ADHD with the piece. I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it on Saturday. And
Okay.
you'll see what I do with it.
Yeah, I just wrote a new joke today. We were talking about the dark stuff.
Yeah.
I like to tell you, but I know you like clean humor, and I like. Is it okay if I tell you?
You can tell me.
All right. So my social media was suspended for 2 months, and it kind of sucked because I just found this out on September 3rd. My ex-girlfriend died from fentanyl, and it's very, very sad, but I was always wondering, how come she's not texting me back? Like, is it me? In this case, it was actually her.
Very dark.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, Ron. I'll talk to you later, buddy.
Thanks, brother. See you.
All right, guys. That was the episode. Subscribe, rate, review. We'll see you guys next week on Reza Rifts.